This is my quick impressions of CW Academy. I'm going to go through this really, really rapidly. If anyone has any questions and want to contact me by text, phone, email, please feel free to do so at a later date too. First of all, the answer is I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And in fact, so much so that after actually 15 months, I'm still with at least 8 members almost every day, 5 days a week, working with them to get better at CW and get more competent at it. And my advice to you is if you really want to be a good op, spend the time to go to either the CW Ops Academy or the Long Island CW Club's classes. The big difference between the two is CW Ops is free. Long Island, I think, charges like $100 for the courses. What were my goals real quickly is I wanted to get my skills set up. I had 150 CW DXCC already worked by the time I did it, but I was really lousy at CW. And it was really to increase my CW DXCC totals. And of course, being a talkative ham, I wanted to meet new people and have fun. And why CW Academy? One reason only, because Gordon Olson, AA7TQ, a member of this club, he's moved down to Twin Falls now, recommended it, and he is one of the best CW ops I've ever met for rag chewing. He is smooth as silk. Now, what are the goals of CW Academy? They want to create more competent CW ops and get them on the air. And what that means to them is they want to get away from pencil and paper. They want you to do head copy, instant character recognition, so you hear a sound of a Z or a B or a 1, and you instantly recognize what was sent. It also goes into, as you get deeper into the program, into instant word recognition, or IWR. They want you to send clean spacing between words and sentences. They want you to set up your speed that you're sending to match whoever you're talking to. Farnsworth, this is kind of my feeling about Farnsworth for training. Meh. It sounds good when you start up, but it really inhibits you as you get better at CW. I would really try to stay away from Farnsworth as much as possible. CW Academy goals is 25 words a minute, and they don't say that's sending and receiving. They don't say if it's DXing, contesting, or rag chewing. And all three have different skill sets, by the way. And again, they want you to make new friends and have fun. So guess what? I hit the right group. Your commitment is, in general, is 2 one-hour-long sessions every week for an 8-week class period. If you get an instructor like I had, AC6AC Buzz, he goes 4 weeks earlier. He starts his classes unofficially 4 weeks earlier, so you end up 50% more training with a group. You really have to commit to 1 hour of personal practice per day to do well in this class, or these classes. You need to have a code oscillator or a radio capable of sending audible CW tone that can be picked up by your microphone in your computer. You need a computer and a headset for the Zoom classes. All of the classes are in Zoom. The reason they do that is they're international. People are in classes from around the world. And this is very important. You have to have a good iambic paddle. CW Ops really pushes either single or double paddle iambic paddles. And finally, this is something that I found to really be good at it. Create and or join a study group of your classmates. That is key. And get together with them as often as you can. The resources for CW Ops, I just threw some stuff in here because I knew Mel was going to be putting this on our site. So you can just zip down this pretty quickly. The first one is cwops.org. In there, you will find on their homepage the Academy website, and then the resources. And I really urge people who are interested in CW and getting better at it, just to take a look at what they offer you on a weekly basis on what your schedule would be like, what you have to study, and so on. And also here, there's some fundamental, intermediate, and advanced practice examples that would be really helpful if you got in and took a look at those. Additional resources, the Long Island CW Club has a practice page. It's just like if you go to the bottom of this page, you see CW Trainer. That is the CW Ops Academy equivalent. These pages allow you to set code speed, whether or not you want to use Farnsworth, if you want to look at letter groups, number groups, punctuation groups, mixes of all of those, word groups, and speeds. It's just, these two will really let you know where maybe you should start. I started at the basic class, which you probably should be doing about 12, 14 words a minute. It's now called Fundamental, by the way. And I think you would really, really enjoy it. Here's an example of the warm-up sheet. And every day before I get on CW, I try to go through this. This is just a partial segment of it. And you can find it under the CW Academy page there on their internet. When you start out in this, when I started out on this, it took me about 20 minutes to go through this page every day, just to warm up. Now at where I'm at, it takes me about 2 or 3 minutes. And pangrams. Has anybody here done pangrams? Pangrams are wonderful. Sending pangrams are one of the best ways to speed your code sending up. And they can help your code reception too if you use other tools. This is another CWOps tool that's available on their webpage. I usually would send 6 or 8 of them into a program called Audacity, and I'll show you that in just a bit. If you're a CW or contester, you can get into daily 1-hour contests using this little spreadsheet here. The K1USN are slow speed tests, 1-hour tests. MST stands for medium speed tests. And CWT, well, hang on to your hats. They're running at about 35, 40, 45 words a minute, typically. They will slow down for you. For CWT, the exchange is your call sign, your name, and people change their names every week just to screw people up. It's kind of fun. And then you send your CWOps number, or if you're an Academy member, you send CWA. If you're in the States, you send the abbreviation for your state. And if you're in a foreign country, you just send a 2-letter abbreviation for whatever that country is. So there's a lot of chances to practice CW every day. And this spreadsheet also will give you the Pacific Daylight Time, Pacific Standard Time there in the far right columns. That's it. I'm going to stop right there for now. I don't want to get too far into it. I said you have to have a good paddle. If you're going to be a high-speed CW operator, I would not recommend a bencher type paddle. You just cannot set it well enough to do well. I had a bencher BY2 for over 30 years, and I finally sold it and went to something like this. This is a Mike March is a CW op, and he makes these little, what I think is a steampunk work of art. It's solid brass. It weighs over 3 pounds, and the feel of it and the finger pieces on this they match my desire in a CW paddle. One of the worst things about going into CW and high-speed CW, or trying to be a high-speed CW operator, is you become an addict. And you start buying a lot of CW paddles. This is a Bengali Expedition. Bengali is considered the Ferraris of CW iambic paddles. They also make dual lever paddles, single lever paddles. I think they make a straight key. I think they make a bug, which is okay. Next to that, you'll see a little box that's made by Kanga in the United Kingdom. It's an analog box that is a micro code practice oscillator. You can set the tone and the speed, the audio portion, the tone, and the speed on this thing, and it will set using your paddles. You can it will send you code that you can use for practicing in. I really love this paddle, but again, I'm an addict. So you can see behind it on this picture there is N3ZN9 Plus paddle. Both of these paddles I bought off of QRZ.com for about $100 less than what they cost new. And both of them were in pristine shape. The 9 Plus had never been adjusted properly. The poor guy who had it couldn't send a thing on it because it was so badly set. And now, except for the finger pieces, I think it's right on par with that Bengali that I have here. Okay, so I said I'm an addict. I just bought this, haven't received it yet. This is another Begali, a Magnetic Pro. And you'll see that at the top, the way that you adjust it is different than the other one. Begali makes incredible paddles. You notice there's no tightening screws on those adjustment screws. The machining on them are so great. You adjust the adjustment screws, and you don't have to worry about tightening them down any. They will stay in place. They work. I can't wait to get this one. And finally, yes, I do own a Vibroplex bug. This is a 1945 Champion. It's a really nice little bug. But in my shack, it's relegated to send tones at about 5 or 10 watts for my linear amplifier and tuner. That's about all I use it for. For all the people listening here, if you want to be good at CW and be competent, I really recommend that you take one of these courses. I hope that you get into it and enjoy it. Real quickly, I think I have just a couple minutes here. Here's a couple panels to consider. The three models that I have are on the bottom. The WU7X is made in Ukraine. It is a work of art. It probably costs on average $100 less than the Begali or the March. The Croatian 9 Alpha 5 Nancy is a solid state paddle. It has really no moving parts. You can adjust it. I think it uses capacitive touch, and I have one friend who sends out 25 words a minute, and it's smooth as silk. He really loves the thing. So there's a lot of options. There's a Russian that I don't have listed here. He makes them on his weights. The base is made out of rocks or minerals, and they're works of art. I mean, you could, if you could hold it and hang it on a wall, it would really look nice, but it would probably pull the drywall off the wall. And that's what I've got, Mel.